Markets are a mixed bag starting out the fourth quarter. Debt ceiling can gets kicked down the road, and appraisals aren't meeting the home value, but that's a good thing, and let's talk about it. Hello everybody, Joe Werpik coming at you, and today I am joining you from my home in beautiful Scottsdale, Arizona. I got Pinnacle Peak in the background. I'm very blessed to be able to be out here. Let's talk about the stock market. Now we can see here that heading into the second week of the fourth quarter, we can see the NASDAQ is still negative. The Dow Jones and the S&P 500 are barely holding positive, and we've seen some extreme volatility over the first 2 weeks, and I expect that volatility to continue. I don't think we're going to go negative for the fourth quarter. As I discussed a few weeks ago, I think the fourth quarter should be positive. Hold on, buckle yourself in. The volatility is here to stay, but I think we'll see positive numbers by the end of 2021. Now, the debt ceiling has been an issue, and just last week, the Senate voted to kick the can down the road until December. I'm not really sure why they think this is a good idea, not just to solve the issue, but to delay the problem. As I said before, all they're fighting over is paying for bills based on legislation that was passed last administration. So hopefully they can get their heads out of the sand, get this passed so we can move forward and stop talking about this silly debt ceiling. Do I think the government's spending too much money? Of course, I always think they're spending too much money, but they've already said they're going to spend it, so they have to spend it. And now we can have a debate going forward about spending more. And a great topic that just came up in the Wall Street Journal this weekend, home appraisals are not hitting the values that people are willing to pay for homes. And I have said before on this channel, this is a very good thing. While it's upsetting realtors, I can understand because deals can fall through because of this. This is why I'm saying that this housing increase is completely different than what we saw back in 2006, 7, and 8. Back in the early 2000s, the appraisers would put down whatever number was necessary to get the home sold. The banks would float the loan, and we know what happened there. Massive collapses, homes underwater. But today is a different story. We enacted some strict legislation on home appraisals, and home appraisals can't just come in at any crazy wild figure. So if you want to go and buy, say, a $500,000 home, and it appraises at $475,000, the bank is not going to lend you a $500,000. They're going to lend you the $475,000. So you have to come up with the cash. Why this is such a good issue is because if we do have a decrease in home values, people won't be underwater because they actually paid cash going into the house. So their debt, especially if they have to put, say, 15 or 20% down and pay the cash for the overvalue of the house, this will be a good issue to have should the housing market correct. I don't see it correcting, especially here in Scottsdale. There's no inventory. People have tons of money coming over from California. They're willing to pay whatever price they want to pay, and the majority of the time they're paying cash. Now, it's not that way everywhere in the country, but as I've predicted before, I think this housing market is going to continue to grow, not at the 17% growth we've had over the last 12 months, but I believe it's going to continue to grow. And as the millennials get out there and buy more houses, people will start opening up more inventory. As we get through the Delta variant, people will feel more comfortable. We'll see the inventory will come up. We'll still see the demand there. And I predict, or I expect, housing to grow hopefully at that 5 to 10% growth level, because I don't like double-digit growth on houses for a long time. But if you bought a few months ago or even a year ago, you're probably sitting on a nice gain. Hope this video was helpful. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you put some comments below to let me know what new videos you'd like me to put out, and I'll see you next week.